Welcome to the CIT 348 Group 4 Showcase for Pre-Processing Tools, presented by Charles Pillsbury. This showcase builds upon the previous showcase, Data Source Analysis. That showcase will be linked below. In the previous video, we covered two data sources and briefly worked with the data, as well as asked questions about what narratives arise from the datasets. On screen now is Kaggle.com and the dataset for the Paris 2024 Olympic Summer Games. In the last video, we discussed how this was one of our data sources. Here, we can see that it can be downloaded as a zip of various CSV files. I have gone and downloaded these files. Here, we can see all the available CSV files from this dataset. In the last showcase, we asked questions about our data, specifically the Olympics data. Today, we're going to take a further look at this question here. Which country had the highest percentage of medal winners? The tool we're going to use to help us answer that question is going to be Excel, specifically Power Query. Let's open up Excel now. With Excel open, we can go to the Data tab and import one of the CSV files. Here, I've already pulled out athletes and medalists. These are the two files that we're going to use today. Let's get athletes in here. As you can see, we have a lot of fields that we can work with. Let's transform this data. Transforming data is one of our initial tools for processing data more effectively. For the purposes of determining the percentage of medal winners, we need the name of the athlete and the country they represented. All of this other information is unnecessary for our purposes, so we are going to go through and trim this data set down. All right, with the data set trimmed down, we can go and load it into our sheet. When we select the load, we want to make sure that we're having a new worksheet and we're adding the data to a data model. This will become important for when we use Power Pivot. Okay. All right, our data has been uploaded as a table. We're going to go ahead and do that again for medalists. So back to the Data tab, from text or CSV, and now medalists. Import. Again, we have a lot of columns that are not necessary for today's question. Transform this data, and we're going to take a second to trim this down. Like before, we have trimmed this down to just our necessary columns, our athletes, and the countries they represented. And just like last time, we are going to be adding this to our data model. And we have our new table. While it's unnecessary for us today, it is important to note some of the tools we have for additional processing, such as the removal of duplicates. To work with this data in Power Query, we're going to go to Data, and then to Get Data, and launch Power Query Editor. Here we have both of our tables, which we can now work together as a relationship. To maintain the integrity of our data, we have duplicated both tables, which we have then renamed to Athletes Count and Medalist Count. In our Athletes Count table, we are going to group the athletes by country. So let's select country, group by. We're going to do a new column name called athletes, and we're going to count each distinct value. Now we have a total of each athlete that represented each country. So as we can see for Armenia, there were 15 athletes that represented that country. We're now going to do the same thing with our medalists, but this time we're going to get a total for who won a medal. So medalists, count distinct rows. The reason we select count distinct rows is to ensure that if there are people that have won multiple medals, they get counted. All right, so now we can see Belgium had 9 athletes who won a medal. Now it is time for us to combine both of these queries. We're going to go to Merge Queries and select as a new query. So we are going to take our athlete count and merge it with our medalist count. We have country and country. This left outer will ensure that if a value is 0 or null, it is still counted. This is because not every country won a medal. So we'll hit OK. And now that we have table, we're going to select medalists. And this gives us a count from each country how many athletes won a medal. And we will change our null values from null to 0. So now we can see the countries that had 0. Unfortunately, no Gambian athlete won a medal. All right. Now we can add another column. Like I said, we can add another column, a custom column. And this custom column will allow us to input a formula. The formula we are going to input will then output a percentage of athletes that won a medal. The formula will look something like this, and we can hit OK. Oh, looks like I'm going to have to edit that. All right, looks like I had a small spelling error. But now we have fixed this column. We can go back home and add this to a new worksheet. And this can be made to be a percentage. So now we can see all the countries that participated in the 2024 Olympic Games, how many athletes were there, how many medals were won, and what percent of the athletes from the delegation won a medal. And we can do more to organize this. So we could always sort by smallest to largest, or largest to smallest, and see that apparently the Democratic People's Republic of Korea had the highest percentage of medal winners. Power Query is an extremely powerful tool and allows us to tell various stories with data. And I would like to thank you for joining this brief tutorial and showcase on how to use Power Query. Once again, thank you, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Group 4. Thank you.